It will be safe to call today an easy peasy day. Not all days are like that. There are some days that are very, you don't know what's going on. Everything seems so crazy. But today, everything seems so peaceful. But even then, I had a near accident situation. I cut my hand. If you've not seen the video, I'm going to be linking it right here. And I talked about why you need to be prepared in the event of a physical injury in your warehouse, in your garage, in your living room. It doesn't matter where you do eBay, accidents can happen, but that's not the topic we're talking about. You see, today, like I said, very peaceful. It's kind of strange because even though I have already like 3 sales, I've not got the typical messages from customers writing, where is my item? Can you please give me information about this item? Everything has just been so quiet. Sometimes I kind of appreciate this peace whenever we have a day that is like this. Yes, I typically want to have a day that is full of activities, things going on, but not breaking things, not hurting myself, but generally just things going on, transaction possibilities coming up, suppliers calling that, look, we've got some new stuff. Are you interested? But today was raining whole day. This might also be the reason why things are just been so calm. But the good news is 2 days ago, I made a video about, I was kind of venting. I was so angry because a buyer had written me, wasted my time when I was supposed to be going home, wasted my time, wanted to buy a PC. At the end of the day, cricket. So after sending like 3 emails, buyer sent like 4 emails as well. And I felt like the buyer was a time waster. And I was like pissed off because I needed to stay longer in the warehouse. So when I was going home, I needed to make a video and was like, look, why do buyers behave like this? Why do people not interested in buying stuff? Why do they go ahead and write for items and then at the point of clicking the buy it now button, they suddenly chicken out? This was my event and it was valid because this buyer told me he wanted to buy an item and I had spent time in answering all the normal questions, and then came a new question if I could reserve the item. So I was pissed off. But then today, the first thing I got in the morning was a notification, and this buyer actually went ahead to buy this PC. A €208 PC, but the buyer lives in Italy. Because of that, the buyer had to pay €29.99 for me to ship the PC all the way to Italy. And then, once again, like I always say, you keep learning every day. If any day goes by and you do not learn something, then you need to ask yourself, are you still living? Is everything okay? Because ideally, if everything works fine every day, you should have learned a thing or two. It doesn't matter how little. It doesn't also have to be complicated, but just strive to learn something. And what did I learn in this situation? I just learned that, look, it doesn't matter how a buyer might appear to be very time wasting. Do not go ahead to profile a buyer. Don't be in a hurry to profile a buyer. You never can tell who the good buyer is by a mere email exchange. But it's just that because we get a lot of these unserious requests every day, people asking to want to buy your items for even lower than the cost price or the market price, because we get a ton of this kind of emails, whenever we see an email conversation already going in the direction that looks like unseriousness, we just go ahead and profile the buyer. Look, case closed. I'm not replying anymore because this person is just wasting my time. Off, I'm done. But then sometimes these buyers actually are writing just to get a lot of clarification to prevent a situation where an item is ordered because the buyer has not asked all the questions that need to be asked, and then the item gets delivered only for the buyer to realize that, look, I do not like this item and I want to send it back. This was like a major unlock for me that sometimes some buyers may appear very unserious in the beginning, but doesn't necessarily mean that they are unserious buyers in the end. So this buyer, after 2 days, went ahead to buy this PC. Didn't forget me, didn't go ahead to buy from the competition, which could have possibly happened, but did come back to my shop, actually bought this computer exactly the same way that we talked about, without asking further questions. The PC wasn't reserved because that was the actual point that just broke me. I mean, I'm not totally at fault, considering the fact that it was kind of strange for me to hear that somebody is asking to reserve a PC, haven't asked all the questions that needed to be asked, But then the buyer now, 2 days later, bought the PC. So I'm kind of satisfied. I have learned that profiling buyers too early might not be the best attitude to have if you are a reseller. Yes, it might be very inconveniencing sometimes to begin to sit down and reply some of the requests that you get on eBay. Sometimes people write like 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, just wanting to find out if the PC has a guarantee, and if in the event of the PC being broken, if they can send it back. I'm also human, and sometimes these questions or these inquiries just get to me, especially when I've had a stressful day. In the case of this buyer, I was already on my way out when I received a notification on my phone and saw that this buyer was trying to find out one or two things about the computer. So I was kind of already tired. I was done for the day and just wanted to go home. I'm human, like I said. Sometimes we get worked up. Sometimes we're in a hurry to just profile people and say, look, this one doesn't look like somebody that is going to buy. But at the end of the day, some of these buyers actually become the best buyers. They buy, they are satisfied, they receive the item, and because they kind of feel like they have asked all the questions, they've done the due diligence they're supposed to observe, they end up not returning items. So I hope this is exactly the kind of buyer that this is. The PC has been prepared neatly, well packed. One of the best PCs I have, a Lenovo ThinkCentre M920Q PC. It's a tiny PC and in the best optical condition that is possible of a used PC. It's already been sent, already been dropped at the post office. I'm kind of interested how long it's going to take between today and the item being delivered in Italy. And when the item gets delivered, I'm going to go ahead and send the buyer a very beautiful email thanking the buyer for actually buying from my shop. This is one way I can actually go ahead to endear myself for that of the buyer and hopefully get a positive review from this transaction. So the major takeaway from this video is that, look, yes, some buyers can appear unserious from the start, but if you are a reseller, just like I said in one of my recent videos, patience is what you need to survive on the eBay street. Be patient with the buyers. As much as it depends on you, try to see how you can respond in depth to messages that potential buyers send you, because you never can tell who the good buyer will ultimately be. Until I see you again, have a beautiful evening.